right. Should have put on more lipstick. I'm in my fur coat because it's cold in LA. Oh, man. There we go. Let's get it going. Hi, 2 people that came in. How are y'all doing? I'm in my fur coat. It's very cold in Los Angeles. It's like, let me see. How cold? What's the weather? Weather in LA. I bet it's like 62 and I'm freezing. 60. It's 60 degrees. I gotta put on my fur coat. It's so cold. I don't know how I used to live in New York City. It got like -5 degrees and I would have to walk from the subway to my apartment in a blizzard with like cheap shoes because you can never afford nice shoes. You're living in New York City. You're poor, right? Or at least I was. And you feel the water rushing in your feet and you just want to put a gun in your mouth. But you don't. You live another day because you live in New York City. So today we're drinking vodka. And I found this sparkling apple juice. That's nice. I think I toned it down. I drink maybe 3 times a week now. I like it much better for me. I used to drink almost every single day, and that made me very miserable. All right, so let's start with this. I don't know what this drink is. Hi, Orlando. Hi, Orlando Ravello. Where do you know me from? Oh. Hey, I know you. How did you find me? I thought you don't have social media. Well, this is my fur coat. And this is some apple juice. Apple juice and vodka. We'll see how that goes. The drink is called a kindergartner. I think that's an appropriate name. I think that's an appropriate name, a kindergartner. I want some apple juice and some vodka, Mommy. I also got a little club soda. My favorite. People don't like it. They say it tastes like static TV, but I dig. So what you doing, Orlando? I didn't know you had YouTube. I didn't know. I thought you make music and hang out. This is my Bernadette's t-shirt, RIP this bar. When a few months ago it got busted into. So no more Bernadette's. You have a YouTube. Oh, right. Thanks. It is cool. I get a lot of compliments on it. I wear it over and over again. Ooh. This is a crazy drink. Vodka and apple juice. It's called the Russian mother's milk. Oh boy. Well, I picked it, so I gotta drink it. Maybe I'll douse it down with this. So Orlando, once a week, I just come and I chat with people. People come in and out at their leisure. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's a little. I'm just kind of checking in with people, and then I'll put it on YouTube, and then they can see what I do. Have you seen? Hey, Caesar, how are you? Have you seen my cooking videos, Orlando? I put one out today. I made a lemon pound cake. And I'm about to smoke my first cigarette of the day. And I thought I smoke a lot. I've been cutting down on that too. I have not. Well, check it out, buddy. It's on my YouTube channel. Oh, now you get to see the real me. I'm smoking and drinking. I'm usually pretty good. But Friday, or I usually do this show on Friday nights, but I wanted to talk to you guys about feminine energy. I just discovered that the other day. I'm good. Yourself? That pound cake looked really good. Thank you, Caesar. It was really good. I wish I could had more people around me so I could give it to you. I can't eat a whole pound cake. Oh, yes. So feminine energy. I discovered that the other day. Or, yes, yesterday. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with man and woman, but the yin and yang. Now, Orlando is into this, so he might know more than me. But the masculine is get up and go and don't ask questions and go, go, go. And then the feminine is wet and quiet and still and warm, kind of like a soil that the trees grow into. The roots begin in feminine, and we haven't been living in a feminine energy for a long time. So yesterday, I usually do this on Friday, but I was just like, I've been very, go, get up and go, gotta go do it. And then when I came home from work, I turned out the lights and I just laid in bed. I didn't necessarily sleep, but I just kind of felt that like warm, cool, just lay in like a dark place for a few hours. Really rejuvenated my whole energy, my whole spirit the rest of the next day. Is this gonna get on the ground? This is my fur coat that I got for $3 at a yard sale. I'm good. Yourself? So anyways, anybody heard of the feminine energy? I find it very interesting. I didn't know that. I thought feminine energy was more like painting your nails, a little more la-di-da. But when you describe it as the soil that the roots grow in, I was like, oh, wow. And I definitely felt way more rejuvenated, like a whole tree today. Who else here? Looks like we've got 3, 4. That's okay. I'm learning to just be patient. This is so bad. But I'll drink it. And I didn't have a drink. I didn't have anything. I'm telling you, cutting down alcohol to like maybe 2, 3 times a week, so much better. But I'm a bartender. So like during the pandemic or right before, I was drinking a lot more than that. I'm actually drinking less and working harder during the pandemic. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? I guess it's kind of like pandemic has a gun to your head. And it's just like you get up and do it or you lay in bed miserably. And you have a choice. And boy, oh boy, don't we all just want to lay in bed. I am on Twitter and I see so many tweets from my friends that are just like, hour 12, laying in bed, haven't moved. Plandemic. That's right. Gotta plan it out. When I wake up in the morning and I say, I'm going to be kind to myself today, and I just take a deep breath and I kind of go through mentally of what I need to do and the timing of it. And like, all right, 12:30, 9 o'clock here, 10 o'clock here, it gets done. And even if I like fall behind, I find a way to pick myself up again and I get it done. There's a cat. And I feel so much better. I'm working on some Lagunitas. Oh, I like Lagunitas. I used to call it Lagunitas, and a bartender was really pissy with me. He was like, oh, actually, it's Lagunitas. And I was like, all right, you piece of shit. This is a guy in, when I bartend, I'm very nice to people. Because I know you come into a bar, you want to like get to know people. This is your happy place. You want to start a conversation. You don't want to be on your phone. You want to have a good time. Positive vibes only. And if a customer comes in and they're being negative and really shitty to other people, I kick them out. I say, get the fuck out of here. There was a guy that was making fun of other people at the bar, and he's like, this guy's ugly. He kept calling this other guy ugly. And I was like, you leave. Get out of here, man. Because if I let that guy stay and I let that negative energy stay, then everybody else is going to stay. I can't have that. I should have done another reminder for these things, for this, like an hour ago, to remind people that I'm not doing it on the night I usually do it. So, this is great. Again, I need to get lighting, proper lighting, because it looks like this is where I get murdered. It's like, what if I'm just having a fun time and like someone comes walking up here with like a hatchet? Sorry to hear about the creek in the cave. I remember listening to y'all record in the basement. Yes, Ben. I recorded in the basement of the creek in the cave. God bless, rest in peace. I've done so many. That was like a home to create insane sketches and ideas. And the show I work on now started from there, and we really got to like just explore, push boundaries. That's what you have to do. It's like a kid, like learning your space, everything around you. Fun stories. There was definitely a guy that, well, I didn't see it. Well, there was this one story, this mic, where this guy gets up there and he was being kind of weird. Like, when your spidey senses hit off and you're just like, this person's something. So I'm recording him, and he has a voice like this, ha ha ha, like I'm a fud, ha ha ha. Like, and then he gets up there and then he says, so there was this woman, and so we used to go robbing houses, and we broke into this one house, and this older woman, she saw us, and then she died. We killed her, and we kept robbing the place, and we left, got away with it. And I put it up on YouTube. And then the guy that ran the mic, these two dudes in suits came by the venue like a week later, and they're like, have you heard of this guy? We heard he was doing this on stage. And he said, oh, my friend taped it and she put it on the internet, so go check it out. And word on the street is he's in jail. So that's never assume that what you record is going to be secret. Even if you have a small following, people will find it. I was watching, Round Table of Gentlemen. I was watching an old improv everywhere with my buddy Alan Straczynski. Oh, yeah. Good old Alan. He and I have been friends for a long time. He's, I hope he's doing better. I know he was raised by a single mom and a sister whom he called a whore. I think he had a lot of monsters in his head, and I hope that he has thought those out. Round Table of Gentlemen stories. Round Table was really fun because we would just be in this little bitty room. We were in a broom closet. We were in a broom closet. And we would go out and be like, we want a guest. We need a guest. And we would just go out, and it would be like Michael Che, Michelle Wolf, like before they got famous. Be like, and you want to come in? All right, come on in. And then it would just be the guests. And I think that's also how we hit it off. Wow, people. I went to high school with him. He was 2 years older than me and my mentor in high school theater and school improv team. Aw. Do y'all hear the music? It's always people blasting music that isn't, it's just the most rambunctious. So was he Kyle Danger Cop, was he a good mentor to you? Were you happy? Round Table with Michael Che. Oh my God, we would get these buckets of beer, because this is back, we were all so poor. And we would get these buckets of beer. I think it was $20 for a bucket of 20, and then just drink all night. I wish they would stop playing this music. I can't think. He was the best. He taught me so much about comedy. Oh, Kevin Barnett. If you don't know, anybody just joined. Kevin Barnett was he was a very funny man, very endearing. He never looked down on me. When I first moved to New York, I had nothing. I had 2 bags. That's it. I was so poor for so many years. I remember just eating a potato for dinner. He didn't judge. He didn't judge me. This is coming up. Oh, thank God they're leaving. Music is awful. But yeah, Kevin never judged. He'd be like, you got some salt? He's like, he can grab me some table salt for the potato. But that's what it's like when you move to New York. I think that's why I hated the TV show Girls so much, is because I had nothing. And the whole premise of the show was we're just figuring it out. And I think they had these beautiful apartments. My apartments in New York City, another reason why I love the Creek and the Cave is because that I was just there. I had to get out of my place. And I was surrounded with black mold. It was this is a New York City apartment. When you're poor and this is what you can afford. Now I can I'm doing much better, thank goodness, because I have my head on my shoulders. Because I worked through it. Maybe work through doing what you love, and it might help you. It might come through, it might not. Buckets and buckets of Tecate. Oh my God, yeah. $20 for those buckets. Is Orlando still here? $20. And that was I remember back in the day, because I was never nobody's really taught money or finance sense, unless you grew up in a family that's knows what they're doing. Mine did not. And I don't like to blame my parents at all. Not even the school system teaches you how to balance checkbook, how to keep money set aside for your bills, because we're supposed to be poor and in debt to the system for the rest of our lives. But I had to figure that out definitely the hard way. But there's some goodness to it, like I know how to save up and get the right things that I want because I know the poor thing is going to just end up breaking and it'll cost me more money. How to balance my checkbook, I guess. Jess. Oh, hey. I do like to ramble on this thing, and I'm going to have, what's it been, 15 minutes? So I go for an hour on here, and I like to have about one cigarette, maybe two, because I don't want to be a crazy lady. Is there a TV show movie that gets closer to actual New York City life? Probably Taxi Driver. The opposite of girls. Yeah, probably Taxi Driver. I mean, really, like, a lot of kids moved to New York, and, like, they have good, like, I almost think that not necessarily a financial upbringing, but a parents that really teach you how to, like, take care of yourself, watch out for yourself. Like, that's almost better, like somebody with a head on their shoulders. I was just a crazy kid with two suitcases and two of my theater friends, and we're like, we're gonna make it, and we didn't even have a place to live. We like hopped around. This first place I lived, it was with this girl, and she had these two giant dogs, the size of a human. They could put their paws on you. And she lived in a tiny, tiny New York City apartment. I mean, like the size of a bedroom. And these dogs, they just hated us because we're like in their space and so aggressively in the space. They ate all of my underwear, like the crotch out of my panties. So I just walk around New York with nothing. I mean, that's how I could have started making money, but I did not do that. I don't think I was mentally aware enough to prostitute myself in New York. I think if I would have like gone down a bad path. But the dogs ate all my underwear, and I remember just like going on these like musical theater auditions that you get from backstage, and you're there with like 200 other girls, and you're standing in a line, and you don't even say your name. They just look at you and they go, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And then that's it. And then you waited there all day. And I was like, for years, I was like, is this what I moved to New York City for? I didn't. And then I discovered UCB theater. And that's when I was like, right. And then UCB led to the creek. I'm rambling. The opposite of girls. But yeah, the New York City is just about like, there's a lot of people chasing dreams. You do not cook. No one cooks. Anybody who has a kitchen in New York City, get the fuck out of here. Like, someone who says they have a kitchen in New York and they make them going home to make dinner, they probably have a little bit of money. Am I making sense? I think it was like, well, I only paid maybe $600 a month in my places. I never paid anything more. And I remember one place I paid $425, and it was like, it should be embalmed. Like, it should have been like bulldozed down by the government. That's how bad it was. And I was like, I'm going to save money. But the thing is when you're surrounded by external shit, your inside is going to feel the same thing. At least mine. My insides are usually determined by my outside. So if I'm like in my pajamas and surrounded by filth, I'm going to feel like shit. But if my room's clean and I have things to do today and I say I'm going to be kind to myself and then get these things done, whoa, then the ball starts rolling. Then things starts happening. You stop feeling like shit so much. I remember just looking at empty pizza boxes, not picking them up and just being like, oh, I'm a bad person. And as soon as I just picked up the pizza boxes and threw them away, that feeling went away. Am I going on and on? Am I going? But I guess that's what this thing is. You surrounded yourself with the right people. The whole LPN network spawned from CCR and the creek and the cave. Oh, thanks, Christian. Yeah, you really got to also surround yourself with the right people. I mean, it's not only like your external bedroom, kitchen scenario, but it's also the people you hang out with. Because, I remember for a second there, I was hanging out with drug addicts. And you know what? I started doing drugs. I started doing that. And then I think some guy offered me meth. And I was like, all right, I got to like recalibrate my life. And I just cut them out of my life. That's another thing you can do. It's cruel. It's not very nice. But if you feel like you're in a scenario with people you're going down the wrong path of who you are, you don't even need to give them an explanation. Just stop texting. Go. somewhere else. They'll figure it out. Maybe they'll get hurt, but hey, you got to protect yourself first and foremost. I know that's very selfish, but oh man. All right, let's have a cigarette. What's everybody's drinking? So somebody's drinking Lagunitas, Caesar. I usually do these videos on Friday night instead of Saturday night. I think Friday night might be a little bit better. Saturday night, people are a little more, they're getting ready to go to church on Sunday or something. Whiskey ginger. Oh, I love whiskey ginger. Ginger ale, ginger beer. I like making a mule. Very easy, very classy drink. Three ingredients. Drinks only need 3 or 4 ingredients. That's it. Hey, Caesar, ginger ale. Nice. I'm drinking, this is vodka with sparkling apple juice. It is not good. It's not good at all. But I poured myself my drink. I made my bed. I lay in it. What did I do today? I made the video today. I'm telling you that feminine energy where you just sit still for a minute. I don't know who's joining in late, but the feminine energy of just like being the soil that the roots grow from. We like lay in a still, dark place, like a womb, pretty much. Just turn your bedroom into a womb. Turn the lights out, get the softest blanket you can, and then just lay there. Turn off your phone, and then just breathe in and out. Changed my world. Because I think even like looking on the internet, you're absorbing people's energies. You're not relaxing. Especially on Twitter, people are screaming. Hi, Dario. How are you? So, have you gone on your first flight yet? Because you said that you were starting back up again on work. Have you gone out? Have you taken the shuttle bus with the other stewards and gotten drunk? I've been seeing stories lately about like things falling off of planes. Is that true? Like wheels and little parts and knobs and things? Or am I reading old articles or like this is one in a million? I'm very scared of flying. I will. I'm one of those people that like I would rather, if time permitted, I would take an Amtrak or drive, which is probably so much more dangerous. But I feel like I'm more in control when I'm on the ground. Airplanes, they gotta go so fast. So Dario, have you like gone back to work yet? Also, I keep meaning to put like lights around me to make this nicer. Not as nice. I was in a very good mood today. Very good mood, very upbeat mood. I'm working out a lot more. That helps. It does. I used to hate working out. I mean, in New York, you just like take the stairs and you hold your coffee in your hand and it spills on your hand. You're like, oh, go, 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 run, 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 go, go, go. And like, that's your workout. I solved that problem because gym memberships in New York are like $300 a month or something crazy. But I solved that problem by working at them. You know, you can just work at them part-time and then you get free membership. Boop. That's it. What, like 4 or 6 hours a week? 1, 2 shifts? Fine. And then get like unlimited memberships to these very nice gyms. So that's the way to solve that problem. Just work part-time. Going to the, went to Jackson Hole. Oh, did you love Jackson Hole? I hear that place is like really great. Like it's like Aspen for cooler, younger kids. Not necessarily young is cool. Honestly, I'd rather hang out with older people because they can handle their alcohol and they have better stories. Going to see Boise. Yeah, $300, Christian. $300 a month for some of these gym memberships in New York City because it's like prime real estate. Cowboy Disneyland. Look, not very exciting, but I keep looking out for falling parts. Thanks, Dario. Let me know next week when I come back on a Friday to do this instead of a Saturday. Is there anything worse than people who can't handle their drink? No, Caesar, there's not. And it's usually, myself included, when I was much younger, you just don't. Big mistake is not eating. And then you just go, I'm okay, I can drink. And then you just get like, you black out easy and you don't even know. You're stumbling everywhere. People have to take care of you. No. Another big mistake is like mixing up your alcohol. I used to not know that. I'd be like, I'll take a rum and soda. I'll take a whiskey Coke. And then you just like not in a groovy place. So yeah, young does not necessarily mean fun at all. In fact, I'd rather hang out with older people. Tell me about Waco. Tell me all about Waco. Right? Is there anything more? Oh, I already read that. Who else? My parents are much older. My mom was, I think, 38 when she had me. So we got some fertile ladies, I guess, in the family. And if you put weed on top of your drinks, you might end your night. Absolutely. And especially if you're like going and you're like, I gotta keep it going, and you don't understand how to like pause, maybe have a glass of water, and you just pull out the weed or pull out the drugs. Oof, bad. I went to a bachelorette party. We went to a strip club, and this girl, we're having a round of cocktails before we go out at my friend's house. And this girl is just like already talking like this. And I was like, oh boy. So we get to the strip club and she's just like digging in her purse for ones. That's the thing that triggers me when people dig in their purses and they can't find it and they put it on the ground and they pull everything out, like the wallet and the water bottle and the cigarettes. And they're like, where's my thing? I don't know where my thing, like that drives me cuckoo bananas. Just like keep it simple in there. But she's, I don't know, I can't. And she's like falling asleep on the stage. And I'm like, we have to go. And I take her purse, and she's just like, I don't want to go. I'm having fun. Like, no, you're not having fun. You don't know what's going on. So I take her purse physically from her, and I walk out of the strip club, and I'm outside with it, and she follows me, of course. And then I'm like, I will get you an Uber. I will get you an Uber home. Where do you live? And she's like, I'm not telling you. And I was like, you fucking bitch. You fucking bitch, tell me where you live. I'm not telling you. I'm just like sitting there and I'm like, please. And I can't leave her because she's going to get, God knows, it's like a bunny in the wilderness, this drunk girl. So I'm like, I'm sitting there bargaining with her, like, please tell me where you live. I'll even give you like water or whatever you need. I'll get you a meal, She won't tell me. She's having too good of a time. And my friends actually end up coming out of the strip club being like, what's wrong? And then they take a hold and she's like, I'm not saying anybody. She's like getting crazy now and like loud. And people on the street are like, what's this fight going on outside the strip club? And I was like, I'm going to go. And I left. I left. What made me get into comedy, Caesar? Well, I was doing acting for a while. And then the whole like going on backstage in New York City back in the day, like everybody sees these like paper articles and everybody shows up and everybody wants to make it. And then you just with these 200 girls and they call you in, they're like, yes, no, yet. Like you don't even get to say your name. And I was like, what is this? And I was already doing a little bit of improv in college. So then I just wandered into UCB because I was like, oh, I kind of know what improv is. And then I saw the best show of my life. It was amazing. I still remember improv's one of those things that's hard to like describe later. It's in the moment kind of thing. And I was like, what? I've never seen this before. So I like got enrolled classes immediately. Classes are expensive. I was a cocktail server in a downtown bar and I saved every penny I could get. I didn't drink after work. I didn't do any drugs. I was like, I want to save for improv. We had to wear these like nice little dresses and like serve them in. Everybody's tearing up cocaine. It was we were making like $400 a night on a bad night. right? Bad night, $400. That's a lot of money. And so how come at the end of the month, everybody was like, oh, I can't make rent? Are you crazy? What are you doing? And they only shopped at boutiques, like the kind of stores that you're this like one shirt on a hanger for $1,000. They only shopped there. No, like there is some truth to like the more money you make, just the higher you spend. The more you spend and the more you're like, this is acceptable. No, this is not acceptable. Go grocery shopping. Stop doing cocaine. At least you made sure she was safe before you left. Thank you, Christian. Yes, because I wanted to just leave her ass. I'm not telling you where I live. Oh my God. I got thrown out of a strip club in New Orleans for making change. Oh, Dario, you made change out of a stripper's G-string? You can't be doing that. Would you have like a 5? And you're like, can I get $4 back? That's fun. That's fun. I remember going to strip clubs in New Orleans. They're a little bit different in New Orleans. It's more of like a fun party atmosphere, and there's men and women getting on stage. Like it's kind of a free-for-all. And then I got to like New York and a couple other places, and it was more like seedy, like girls getting up there, and I'm gonna put my coat back on. Like girls getting up there, and just men sitting in the audience, just like smoking and living. It was less of a party atmosphere, more like a "don't tell my family I'm here" atmosphere. Didn't like that as much. $3. It's the warmest thing I own. I love it. Vintage. Christian. That's a sweet fur coat. Thank you, Christian. Yeah, $3 at a yard sale. I feel like fur coats, if they are vintage, not a problem. Ooh, buttons. The animal's dead anyway. It would be cruel to just let this sit in a basement somewhere. No, I want it on my soft, cold body. Make it warm. Now, new fur coats, I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless you're a professional trapper and then you go kill the bunny rabbit yourself and then make it. Sure, you're like, I made this. But if you go and like, I don't even think they make new fur coats now. I think these are like just a thing of the past, very archaic. It kind of looks like you mugged a sheep. Yeah, it goes long too. It goes all the way to my ankles. I fell in love with a stripper named Jade with Wonder Woman underoos on. Her name was Jade and was working her way through culinary school. I wonder if she ever went. Did she ever make it? You know, if somebody like honestly, I knew some girls who were strippers that were like, "Oh, I'm doing this to get my, law school degree." And if you can do it, rock and roll. Unfortunately, the girls I knew never did. They just kind of got lost in the well of alcohol and drug abuse. These are just like 2 or 3 girls I knew. I'm sure many young ladies are very smart and sensible and do this and take the money and use it for a future, and that's great. But the girls I knew, they were just used. I was thinking about this today. Just that whole industry is very like, let's get these young girls and tell them that they're empowered, and then get them to like take their clothes off and use and take their light and take their spirit. I want a movie about Jade. I know. Not in the $5 change I gave her. You and Eddie's podcast on pigs and geese made me smile. I think we all know you're not. Thanks, Christian, for listening to the podcast. I enjoyed it. I liked looking up. If you haven't listened to the podcast, I run a podcast called The Brighter Side, and it's all about positivity. And we train our brains to think about positive things. And sometimes we want to get out of the muck and the dirt, and we just want to talk about animals, animal facts, sometimes. So we were like, let's do an animal episode. And we talked about, my coworker and I were like, let's pick an animal and research it. I picked geese, and he picked pigs. So we're like, fuck yeah, let's do a barnyard animal episode. And it's fun. It's funny. Not everything has to be Tolstoy, Sometimes things can be fun. like this drink. I feel like I've had like 5 sips of this drink because that's about what it deserves. I'm a cow. Canadian stripper clubs are more expensive. Strippers don't like the dollar coins thrown at them. No, B. They don't like the dollar coins. Did they say A? You having a good time, A? Oh, A. You slap some Canadian bacon on their butt cheeks? Pour some maple syrup down their boobies? Is that what how the Canadian strip clubs go? It's more expensive, but but the strip club's nice, I guess. Isn't that true in Canada? Like there's more taxes, but something more healthcare. I don't know how things work. Make it hail. Clack, 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 clack. Dollar coins, that's fun. I mean, with change, I saved my change when I first started bartending, pennies, dimes, nickels, and I put it into a high-interest savings account. Still got it. It's great. Save the change. It adds up. Ladies, I brought my slingshot. Oops, caps. That's all right. Make it hail. It's cold in Canada. I mean, what do they just, the strippers, they just take off their fur coats and then they just have another layer of clothing underneath, like a tracksuit. Here's Chandra and her tracksuit. Ooh, it's negative 20 degrees out there, men. Gotta keep it warm. Yeah, New Orleans strippers were fun. It was a lot of booty mouth music. I remember there was a guy with a penis so long, I saw him wrap it around someone's arm. He wrapped it around. It was a long penis. I would just go. I think I would go with just like friends, and I was never rich enough to really spend. I would spend like 10 minutes inside and be like, all right, that's cool. There was one dude I went, and he was one of my best friends in high school, and then he was like, let's go to the gay bars. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he picks up this dude, and then they're hanging out, and I'm like, I didn't know you were gay. I mean, that's totally cool. But he's like, no, I'm not gay. I just think it's interesting. And I was like, oh, sure. And I didn't see him all night. He just kind of left with this guy. And I was like, I mean, it's cool if you're gay, dude. But like, I think he had a girlfriend at the time. And I was like, can't lie to this girl. He would go away with men on the weekends and not tell anybody. And he had this girlfriend. And she was like, I can't wait to be married with him and have his babies. And I was like, you know, he goes away with men on the weekends, right? And then she's like, what? And I was like, I mean, I never want to out anybody. That's not like my business. That's theirs. But when you bring someone into this, what if they were to get married, have kids, and then like 20 years down the road, she like catches him with somebody? No. He told her he was like a good straight boy. He's like, I'm a straight boy. I like women. It was a lie. It's all a lie. Is that bad of me to do? They rode their moose to work. I have penis research to do, but it's not gay. Yeah. I gotta do some research on some dick. It's fine though. I'm just gonna research from far away with my magnifying glass. And then I'll get up close. And I'll see him naked. It's okay. It's research. What do you need? Like a stable and a constant and a variable? So the constant is his dick and the variable is my asshole. So he puts his constant in my variable. And it's, you know, science. His constant and his variable. Yeah, was that bad of me to do to like just out this dude? Even though, but they were about to getting, you know, she was like, I want to have kids with him. I want to get married to him. I was like, he goes away with men on the weekends. I don't know. I don't think it's all that bad. I think people need to know, you know, be who you are. That's fine. As long as who you are isn't hurting other people, but you have to be honest with other people, like what's going on, you know? Nah, but that's pretty shit of him. Being gay doesn't mean isn't cheating. Yeah, still cheating. I think in his mind, he was like, oh, but it's not with other women, so it's fine. I'm like, dude, you're still putting your constant in his variable. You know what I mean? This is horrible. This is warm though. And it's silk lined. Somebody said this came from an actress in the 1930s, and I don't know who it was, but yeah, this is from the 1930s. That would explain the big padded elbows. I look like Tyler Durden in here. I like it. If he is doing that, imagine how emotionally unavailable he is to her. Yes. Yes, emotionally unavailable. I mean, I'm sure she comes to him and talks to him, and there's only, if you have this secret world, then how can you be honest really about your real world? Because it's like, oh, babe, what'd you do today? Well, I went to work and then I went home. Okay. I mean, you did go to work and did go home, but, there was some dick in the middle. People who reveal stuff in front of you are tasking you with hiding their secret from them. And I didn't sign up for that. You're right, that guy. People that reveal that secret, they're asking you to hide the secret. And now I'm in on the secret. Imagine if they had kids and then I knew the whole time he was going away with men. And then she comes to me years later and was like, did you know? And I'd be like, oh, I knew. I would pull out a gun and shoot me in the head, if I were her. And the thing is, they both deserve happiness, but he's lying to her and himself, and that isn't kind of life to live. No, it is not. No, it is not the kind of life to live. As long as you're honest with yourself, live whatever life you want. Honest and not hurting other people. Because you could be honest with yourself. You're like, oh, I like killing orphans. That's my kink. But, you're killing orphans, so don't do that. But if you're like, I like dressing up like a fox on the weekends. Okay, sure. Dress like a furry. I don't live your best life. I don't care. I mistakenly clicked on some furry because you know how Twitter is just kind of like whatever goes. I mean, the OnlyFans is on there. People showing their pussy holes on there, whatever they want. I think all you need to do is just 2 clicks and then boom, it was furry porn. And I was like, excuse me? It was insane. If I had a kid, I don't know how I would approach the internet with them because everything really is just 2 clicks away to the most disgusting thing you've ever seen in your life. But they have to get to know how to use this because you don't want to be you don't want them to be an adult and I don't know how to use Google. We're all on this thing. But how do you get a kid to not look at furry porn? I don't know. Does anybody have kids in here? Is that code you gradually? Maybe I am. I searched vodka on the rocks and found this. Hey, Andreas Krebs. Very interesting. Yeah, I do this. I'm supposed to do this every Friday, but last night, doing something else. I'm doing it tonight, but I just, I have a cocktail and I just chat with people. It's fun. How are you night? How was your night? I'm a teacher. It's hard to keep the kids from watching porn. I bet. And I bet, especially in the classroom, when you're like, everybody, open up your phone or whatever. We're going to research the Constitution. And some kids are chuckling in the back of the class because they're looking at nipples. Back in my day, we were just typing boobs in the calculator. Any type of it. And I bet there's a lot of it. So what do you teach? I mean, you don't have to tell us if you don't want to be too, whatever that word is. This is my weekly AA meeting, but with alcohol. I have roommates, and they don't drink, and which fine, live your life. But I do. So many times, they'll be at an AA meeting on the internet, and I'm walking behind the camera, holding a glass of wine, being like, "This is great, guys. I'm having a great time." I teach French and physical education, health. Interesting. French, I guess teachers just kind of have to learn how to do everything, French and physical education. Are the kids in French class well-mannered? I feel like they would be in little bow ties. Little bow ties and little pencils. Be like, I'm ready, teacher. I'm ready to learn. That's what I imagine French classes. I wish I'm learning German a little bit because I'm half German. I tell this to people and they don't like it. They don't like that I'm learning German. They get really nervous. Like, why are you learning German? And I'm like, I'm half German. That's it. And honestly, like the more I learn about the language and culture, the more I understand about my upbringing and my past. In Canada. Oh, we have somebody here from Canada, Andres. If I can read your name, we have somebody here from Canada. They got kicked out of a Canadian strip club for for making change in the G string. German gang too. There you go, Canada. Yeah, like I was like looking up German sort of culture stuff, and they say that when you put your food on the conveyor belt at the grocery store, you bring your own bags, and then you have a sense of how you pack it, and then you just do it very quickly and then leave. Like it's all about timing and packing it and leaving and paying and doing everything kind of in a step, and then like very essential and move. And that's how I was raised, right? I remember my dad being like, you know how you're going to pack it, so you put the food you want on the bottom up front and then the lighter stuff in the back. And I was like, that's what I continue doing. And then as I get older, I see that not everybody has that or does that, which is fine. That's just what I do. And I was just like, oh, like when I saw in these German classes that's what apparently Germans do. Amber, love your cooking videos. Big part of mine. Oh, thanks, Joss. Joss. Thank you. I enjoy making them. I honestly had a really good day today, and I wanted to. I know I look like I'm in a murder village. It's just my porch. Love Germany. Went to Oktoberfest once. Best time ever. It is a nice language. Ich bin Deutsch. Ich kann auch Deutsch sprechen. All right, I am. You're German. I can speak. Oh, so you're German. You can speak German. Well, hey, we got a little smarty pants in here. German and French. The best beer. They do have the best beer. It's literal nonsense. Yes, Andreas, they do have the best beer. And in fact, I think they're supposed to drink it warm because it's just the way it goes. But a friend of mine really only drinks German beer, and it's like a better quality. And then I think they got a mojito, but with like well rum, and then they got really sick because apparently the well ingredients just have a lot of bullshit in them, and it didn't go copacetic with their body. So, because they're just used to drinking high quality German beer, which is just like hops, and then that's it. Depending on what kind of beer it is. Been to Germany, well, Berlin only, and I studied German. I can't do American chocolate anymore. I feel this. Well, apparently, B-Storm, American chocolate, Hershey's tastes like vomit to people who are not American. Like Hershey's has different tasting chocolate, and it tastes like vomit. Apparently, to people who are not American. If you bring a Hershey's bar to somebody from Japan or Scotland, they're gonna be like, "This tastes like vomit," because there's some chemical compound that is put in Hershey's chocolate that does taste like vomit, but our American mouths are just used to it. Adam Ragusa. Yes, that's exactly where I got that. I like him. Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, John's ass. Yes, he did. He did the whole thing on Hershey's chocolate. He's great. I love looking at like other chefs on YouTube just to see what their deal is, even if they're not famous. I like to see, what does your house look like? What's your personality, you know? I love Adam too, but sometimes his tricks are too intense for me. Oh, Adam Ragusa? Yeah, he can be intense. I don't know. I've seen the cooking YouTube is so great. It is. I'll just go down a black hole. Do they have white holes? Or is that just my butthole? What's a white hole? Because I know there's a black hole, and there's an answer, a dark to a light to a dark. What is a white hole? Is that heaven? Bleach for his pleasure. I do say I want to bleach my butthole, but I want to do it for me. You know, this is for my own enjoyment. I am getting waxed on Monday. I'm getting waxed and I'm going to therapy. So that'll be a full day for me. of just expelling all of my demons. I have therapy at 9 a.m. and waxing at noon. So we'll see how that works out for me. Great combination. Oh, Dario, you like the German liver recipe I made? Oh my God. So Andreas, I run a Patreon thing and I just like cook. I kind of experiment with things. Like I made some keto muffins with coconut flour just to see like who makes that all the time, unless you're on the keto diet, right? Or gluten-free baking. Interesting, right? So I made, and I had some, I wrote like, who wants to see what? And people were like, we want comfort food, winter food, and someone threw out German food. So I was like, all right, I got some liver in the freezer, looking for something interesting to do. So I found this recipe, and it's not really a recipe. It's just like, it's old. It's an old, like, it was Mozart's favorite meal. It's the kind of meal that like, there's no ingredient list or how to do it. It's just older people yelling at you that you're doing it wrong. And so I figured it out. And I linked a couple things that were like showing how people do it. I don't like the taste of liver, and it was the most disgusting thing I put in my mouth. Liver dumpling soup. I mean, interesting for sure. I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I put that hot scoop of hell in my mouth, but no more. I think I just don't like the taste of beef liver, and that's okay. I don't have to like everything. A white hole was my ex-roommate called her annoying wife. Well, she was. That is a white hole. Liver is very nutritious, though. One of those. It is, Andreas. That's why I'm like trying to learn how to cook it. I used to like it as a kid. I liked liver and onions. It was really nice. Just soak it in milk, squeeze out the milk, a little bit of flour, fry it, put it aside. Onions, fry those up. Put the liver back in with a little bit of broth. Cover, let it go. That was really nice. But then I tried it again, and I was like, "No me gusta. Nine good." So I gotta figure it out. Maybe chicken liver or pig's liver. Ancient Roman food recipes kind of freak me out. Stuffed dormouse. Yeah. All your meals look so good. How can you feel about beef tongue? Oh, thanks, Caesar. All my meals look good. Portuguese cook it in red wine. Oh, Dario, red wine. I think Portuguese are onto something. Yeah, I think chicken and pork liver more mild. Maybe beef storm. I should start with pork and chicken liver instead. Like little fried chicken livers. I could do that. I could maybe do that. And thank you, Caesar, for saying all my meals look good. How do I feel about beef tongue? I've had it in tacos before, shredded. I find when something is shredded, it's not as intense, and I think they stewed it in some kind of broth. That was really good. It was they like took care with it, absolutely. But if you were just like slapping a tongue on the table, I wouldn't know how to cook it. I wouldn't know how to prepare it. I don't think I've tasted liver on its own. We've had liver worsty thing, and that's its own worsty thing counterpart in Iceland. But I know that many seabirds love some cod liver in their face. Seabirds. Birds will eat anything. I could throw a can of Budweiser at it, and it'll num num. My grandparents had liver and onions weekly. Yeah, that's a very grandparents kind of thing. And I'm sure the meals we eat 100 years from now, people are going to be like, that's disgusting. You had Domino's? What do you mean processed cheese? That's horrible. But we love it. But yeah, liver and onions is very grandparents kind of thing. Also, Andreas knows what Leberwurst is. Northern Fulmar. And they attack you and puke on you if they don't like you. Yeah, birds are mean. Birds are dinosaurs. I think we forget this. We keep them in our houses. We chirp at them. Oh, little sweet bird. That's a dinosaur. That's been around for billions of years. Liver pate is the bomb. I do like liver pate. And I think because liver pate is usually made from chicken livers or goose livers, like a goose liver pate, really good. I think it's just the beef liver. I think I can't do beef. It's too, I taste like I'm eating out a woman on her period. Like that is too irony, no liking. Bird Luger knowledge being dropped. Thanks, Bojaz. It is gamey. It's too much. So, Bojas, are you in Iceland? Is that where you live, in Iceland? So we got Canada, Iceland, Germany. It must be late for y'all. 8 o'clock. It must be like 1 a.m. Yes, you live in Iceland. Oh, is it beautiful? I hear it's really beautiful. I hear it's like, it's 4 a.m. here? Whoa. Well, thanks for sticking around. I hear that, and I don't know who, trillions. Wow. Oh, about the years. My family thinks the world has only been around for about 7,000 years, and that's how I was raised. And I remember going off to college, in my first class, the teacher said, the world has been around for billions and billions and trillions of years. And I was like, what? And my mind was like, I was like, wait, like I couldn't fathom it. And everybody else just kind of like nodding, like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I was like, I couldn't even, it's like if you just gave a fish legs and told it to walk, it would just be like, whoa, excuse me? Would love to try the fermented shark from Iceland. Yeah, fermented shark, that sounds good. Oh, and about Iceland, I hear that like Greenland and Iceland, somebody visited it and they wanted Iceland for themselves and for people to go to the colder place, Greenland. So they named it Greenland and Iceland. So Iceland's actually more green and Greenland's more icy. Is that right? Am I messing it up? It's beautiful. We work weird hours. My fiance is American and lives in the U.S. Oh, I'm sorry, Joseph. So your fiance's American. So or they can't just like come. They can't just come over there, or is it like closed borders? Ah, my new thing on the bucket list is giving fish legs. The fermented shark is yummy. Is it like a gelatinous meat? There's a certain group of people in this world. There's a lot of Polish people, and I say that because my coworker is Polish, and I made some meatballs and I put some gelatin in them, which by the way makes them very moist and juicy. And but when they're cold, they get gelatinous. And I gave him some, and he just popped a cold meatball in his mouth, and I was like, like I can't, like the gel, the texture is a no go. But he was like, oh yeah, we Polish like gelatinous meats. Is that how Iceland is too? Is that what fermented shark is? If you can't come and yet travel isn't being an option this year. Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Can you go visit? Can you go visit her in America, or is it just all closed borders? No. And you probably have your job and your place and everything. Man. Well, hopefully, but the shark is cold. Yeah, hopefully, like at the start of the new year, and then you'll see each other again, and then be like, wow, I haven't seen you. I miss you. And think of the hugs you'll give them, and the hot cocoa and the fermented shark. What's a drink you have in Iceland that warms you up? Because I know a lot of Russian people, they'll drink cold little shots of vodka, and the cold, because you want your body to like be the temperature as the external. So they would drink cold drinks. That's also why like Turkish drink hot tea, even though it's hot in Turkey. So you want your body to like level itself out. But does Iceland have that? Do you guys have like a cold drink? I had it shoved in my mouth at like 5 years old and I loved it. Yeah, that does seem like fermented shark does seem like the kind of thing that as a kid you just like, no, thank you. And then your parents make you eat it. Like my friend's Italian, and he just didn't want to eat pasta sauce, and his mom made him eat homemade pasta sauce. Oh, you did the pasta sauce! And now he loves it. Can you imagine being Italian and not liking pasta? I don't think they would accept you. If you're Italian and you don't like pasta, also who doesn't like pasta? It's flour and egg and water. There's nothing weird about this. Leaky liverwurst. Like liverwurst. I've been eating it as long as I can remember. Leberwurst. I think I've had it at this German place I went to. We've had it. Do they have that in Canada? Liver sausage. Wow. Did a lot of Germans move to Canada and live there, and that's where they have these unique liver sausages? Is there a lot of German food in Canada? You can drop with a shark in a glass and drink it. That's right. My dad's family did. They moved after the Second World War. Interesting. I mean, it makes sense, I guess. Germany and Canada, aren't they like kind of on the same uh, plane, I guess, or level? So that like the temperatures are very similar and the ecosystem's kind of similar. Like I can't imagine a German moving. Well, my family's German and they moved to Mississippi. Lots of Portuguese too. So there's lots of Portuguese in Canada. Hmm. Then I was born in the States. My dad was first generation Canadian, and then he and my mom moved to the States and popped me out. Germany had skilled workers that Canada wanted. Interesting. Germany does have some good skilled workers. There is a certain, like, again, with like learning about Germany and my family, like, my dad was like very German, and I just sort of like grew up a certain way, and then you get to know other people the older you get, and you're like, oh, I guess how I was raised is different than how you were raised. Like you have different things going on. My dad was very much like on time is late, got to be there 5 minutes early, and a lot of German people I know are the same way, except for Ben Kissel. Except for Ben Kissel. And if you guys know Ben Kissel, he will be like 2 hours late. And Portuguese went to farm and fish. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, always 15 minutes. I'm always early. German, and my fiance is for sure brought over these. Oh, my last name is German, and my fiance's family is for sure brought over these. Operation Paperclip. What's that? What's Operation Paperclip? Oh, and by the way, Andreas Krebs, my father once told me that if I ever go on a date and he's late, get up and leave. Even if he's 5 minutes late, get up and leave because he doesn't respect your time. And he knew he'd be late. He could have let you know. In fact, he should be there early. And to this day, like sometimes I'll go on a date and be like, he's 10 minutes late. It's fine. And he's always not a good guy. So he's right. Who would have known? Who would have known my father's advice actually worked? All of North America is so diverse. Yeah, absolutely. That's the German philosophy. I show up 15 minutes early to everything to be respectful. Absolutely, because you don't want to take away their time. Time is the one thing you can't get back. You can get money back. You can get your looks back. You can get, I don't know, if you lost a finger, you could get that back. Something like a robot finger. Time, can't get that back. If you're waiting around for somebody, I always thought it was so disrespectful when people would show up to a meeting late. I would immediately be like, well, I'm not going to hire you. I'm not going to work with you. If you show up to this meeting late all the time, Ben Kissel, hail yourselves. Don't trust a man who doesn't wear a belt. Oh, interesting, Daria. You don't trust a man who doesn't wear a belt. Hmm. Kissel was too high up in the Nazi hierarchy to be bothered by everybody else. That's really funny. The big man makes me ridiculous happy. Yeah, Ben Kissel is, and Andreas. I work for a company called Last Podcast on the Left, and they're very fun. I like working with them. But Ben Kissel is one of the head operatives of this, and he's German, but he'll show up late. But somebody made a joke that he was too high up on the Nazi regime to show up early. I don't know. He also doesn't eat fruits and vegetables, which deeply bothers me. And I know it's his body, his choice, but I just want to like force feed him Brussels sprouts or something, or like an apple. It's like, please, please, sir. Your bones will break if you keep eating chicken wings, right? Life is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Great podcast company. Thank you, B Storm. We push out a lot of content. Pour a smoothie down his mouth as he sleeps. I shall. I shall. Inject him with it, tell him it's the COVID vaccine, and it's really just like vitamin C. Or even just like daily supplements. Like, I don't know, take a vitamin. I don't know if vitamins work, who knows. Now that I mentioned apples and Brussels sprouts, I kind of want to make an apple Brussels sprout salad. That sounds really good for winter, right? Just like shave the Brussels sprouts real thin and get the apples into really thin pieces. I think I'm going to do that. Make a little vinaigrette. Dip the veggies in beer. That's how you get Ben Kissel to eat vegetables. Or ranch. Dip them in ranch. Mm. Wow. Well, this was fun. Yeah, I do. Usually, Andreas, I usually go for about an hour on here on Friday nights at 7 o'clock LA time. So you live in Canada. So what's it like? 7 o'clock for you is like 9 o'clock? Apple and goat cheese salad. Ooh, that sounds good. I'm honestly not that great at making salads. That's a whole art form, salads, because I always thought of it as just like this thing you never really, you kind of like put a couple bites in and be like, I had a salad. But people make some good salads. I need to get on that game. Cranberries, goat cheese, apples. That's a whole meal. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. here. Okay, so 8. So it'd be like, yeah, like 9 p.m. on a Friday. Yeah, I usually do. I just chat. We all chat. We have a good time. It's pretty easy, pretty mellow. People come in, they come out. I'll have a drink. We talk about somebody get kicked out of a strip club for making change in a stripper's in a stripper's thong. We've got a flight attendant on here. We've got fans of the show. We've got teachers on here also. So yeah, it's a good time. But don't try to get Ben to insult or make fun of a red state because he will start defending it. He's got Puffin and Jerry to help him. Watermelon, red onion, feta, mixed greens, balsamic. That sounds really good, B-Storm. Good times indeed. Yeah. Yeah, every Friday. But don't try to put. I don't know. Every time I like talk to Ben is getting way more liberal now. Ben is like, and I'm not a conservative at all. But Ben is getting like way more. We talk because I was a little bit like mail-in voting. I don't know, but he was just like, I think it's great. I was like, okay, Amber for Queen of the Universe. All right. Well, this was fun. So yeah, I go like an hour on here. I had a great time. Thanks, guys. Thanks for showing up. And I'll post about this again Fridays. I'm sorry I'm doing it on Saturday. I just had to lay in darkness, which is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. But I just had to lay in darkness for a little bit. Thank you, Dario. Good night, Andrew. I just made it for the end. Oh, Andrew. Well, I'm gonna put this up, so you can watch it if you want. Probably less exciting watching it than being live. Oh, tell your coat we love her. They said they love you. Good night, everybody. I'll see you Friday. I'll see you Friday at 7 o'clock. All right, bye, Bojas. Stay safe.